right, shalom, shalom. This is what we walk on again on the highway and byway. Bringing this gospel is truth to edify the whole to that of Yahshua, and so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos. So, well, the pending judgment that's coming to great Babylon in America. It's always a pleasure that so-called white people know the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has hatred for you and he's going to destroy your kingdom. Before we get started, let's say we should walk over on to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem. Yes. Double honors and teaches almost in the cause of great most stone like wise brothers from the truth. If you feel as he feed and sheep and be brothers and sisters for me, shalom. And starting a little late here. I had a Jake that was out here asking a lot of questions before I can even get set up. And so, obviously sometimes, edification doesn't always get caught on camera and that's just the way it is, but he said, he came around, he said someone just drove him over here to come and talk to me. And he did. And so we actually had a little talk and conversation. But now we're going to get started here. So, of course, all of you, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the headlines, you know that right now we're in perilous times. Okay. And you have these, this devil, Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, really, is really on the prowl right now. Okay. Devouring our people, getting our people, you know, caught up in all of his snares that he's been setting up over here. The big thing for the last couple of weeks has been, Jake's them, concerned about not getting their food stamps and those things, and they're worried about that because they're not trusting the Lord Yahweh Shai. Now, one of the biggest things that I heard is from that show Dabu, okay, is these so-called these officials are worried about the insurrection that's going to come up against the government, so that they're now going to these military bases and requesting or actually living on board or living on these military bases. So supposed to be they fear for their life. Okay, I think they mentioned, I think it was the Department of Homeland Security Secretary that bitch, and then a couple other ones that was going on these bases. And there's a reason why they have to go on these bases to go and hide, and why they think that, because clearly they've been kind of brief, okay, of potential uproar or violence that's going to take place. It's because their government actually is not in their best favor. And we can go into the book of Second Esdras, and let's go into the book of Second Esdras and look into that. Okay, Second Esdras. Take a look for that. Let's take a look for that. Second Esdras. What you have going on simultaneously here is you have a burning great fire that's coming during the Israel. Okay, but even in the form of these ice agents grabbing up Jake's off the streets. Okay, and obviously they're not doing things in a way that's supposed to be lawful. Okay, a lot of this is being done. Okay, and there is going to be a repercussion for that, because people are looking for answers as to why they're losing their job, why they can't make any sleep. Instead, all they're watching and seeing every day, okay, is violence coming from their government. So they're going to have this be sedition. It says Second Esdras 15 and 16, it reads, well, let's actually go up to start with verse 14, because I know it's repetitive. So we're in that time right now. It says, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there should be sedition amongst men, invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in power. So it's just going to be a matter of time before the people will rise up and say, okay, enough is enough. They're going to get tired of watching these doggone grown men slamming their kids down on the ground or slamming their loved ones on the ground, talking about they're illegal or whatever the case is like that, not identifying themselves. And you see a lot of time in the videos where people ask, like, show your face or identify, show your identification. These so-called ICE agents or these so-called immigration agents are saying, I don't have to show you those, show you any identification. And so they're talking heavy-handed, not not showing identification. So we don't know who the hell is behind those masks. Okay, or the people don't know who's behind those masks. But what they're seeing is these agents are turning around and manhandling their loved ones on the ground indiscriminately. And it's just going to be a matter of time before people say, wait a minute, wait a minute. Yes, this is no lawful, okay, detaining or any lawful arrest. What this comes down to is this is something that's more personal. So people are then going to start taking it personal, and then they're going to then attack, okay, the federal agents. They're going to go and they're going to attack their mayors. They're going to go and attack their lawmakers. They might even storm. They might even storm the White House. Okay, and this is probably going to be more like it comes down to that. Okay, so that's a question because there is a division. Keep in mind that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai said, okay, that he's going to put that enmity in amongst these Edomites, okay, where you have the Egyptians versus the Egyptians, because currently right now we have a cruel Lord, okay, that's ruling Great Babylon in America. Okay, we have a cruel Lord that's ruling Great Babylon in America. So it's feasible for them to think, understand that at some point in time, when you take away the food, yeah, you become useless to the people. You become useless to the people, and if you're useless to the people have no reason to worship you or to adore you or like you or whatever cases like that. And we know Jake's them only staying put, and they only love the white man because the white man can provide bread for them. Okay, or provide a substance for them. Once a so-called white man is not providing the substance for them, Jake is not going to give a crap. Okay, and Jason's going to step out on these streets. If we go into, uh, let's go into, let's look into that. Okay, because this is what we're seeing right now. Okay, here in Great Babylon, America, you know, and seeing these layoffs. Okay, and then the Trump administration is trying to act as if they're surprised by it. Why are you surprised by it? You're the one that bringing them the chaos. Okay, so this is Isaiah 19, and starting with verse 14, it says, "The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai mingled a perverse spirit in midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in its garment." So the Hebrew from a drunken man, okay, staggering, usually the disabled or they are incoherent. And this is how this place is being operated right now. It's being operated in an incoherent moment. Okay? Incoherent moment. So right now, about Romans, okay, that Amazon is going to lay off 30 or 40,000 people next year because they're going to place them with automation or robots. Okay, you have these consulting companies like KPMG, okay, Price Water Cooper is laying off, but laying off a whole bunch of consultants, which pretty much most of them work the same. And so you have a whole lot of this layoff that's taking place because right now, okay, it says here, neither should there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail branch of Russia will do. And it says in that day, Egypt should be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because it's shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shake it over. So the Yahweh Shema Shai is going to bring, okay, a type of judgment that these people aren't conditioned to. People are used to getting up to go to work. Work means what? Okay, financial capability to pay your bills and eat and do all these things and maybe have a little vacation, you know, basically show off. Okay, and that's what these Edomites have that they love. It's the fact that they have job security and they can show off and say, I've been this place and I've been that place and whatever the case is like that. And they feel like they're better. But right now, what's happening is that they find themselves, okay, being shunned and being ostracized from a lot of people. Same as Jake. And the last thing an Edomite wants to do is want to be like a Jake. The last thing anybody wants to be is a doggone so-called Negro, Native American, or Latino. Okay, they don't want to be that. He said, and the line of Judah should be a tail on Egypt, everyone that make it mention thereof shall be afraid himself against the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he had determined against him. Okay, so well, this you saw the spirit of Jason when they thought that they were going to lose their welfare benefits or whatever cases like that, which I believe right now, this is what, November 2nd. I'm not hearing any major event taking place this weekend. So somebody somehow I believe that they might have paid into some of these accounts. They might have had residual money, okay, paying some of these accounts. And a lot of this could have been what do you call it? Just Jake's being set up to go out there and talk like that for what they're gonna do and pay to go do these things. Because think of mind, like they have these like marching and these rallying and all this other stuff. Well, a lot of those, like the No Kings, those people got paid to show up there. You actually get recruited to go to those No Kings events. So there's no doubt in my mind that you can have Jakes or Eves. I say Jakes, I'm talking about Eve mainly, that may be paid to go and talk about they got 7, 8 kids and they have it's a responsible to the taxpayers to pay their bill and school, the government, blah blah blah. First could be just us. First could be us. Because when you hear it from so-called blacks, okay, or certain people, you look at it and you can go to yourself, you can say to yourself, people who are working for mass office who may do with very little might look and say, I don't feel bad for these people are always a face of help or poor me, I don't care. Okay, which is basically riling up the people here in Great Bible in America. So they could be paid to go out there and say that, no one and not really facing that. Because if it was going to be that bad, you see probably millions of people making videos or TikTok videos, or complaining the fact that they're going to wind up being starved, they're going to wind up starving or whatever the case is like that. Which these cities and these towns all have a contingency, okay, for such thing. Because it's not the first time that the government has been funded, okay, to give welfare. The welfare comes from the state. So bottom line is, you don't think the state should collect taxes, don't have a contingency plan, okay, for the people? It has a contingency plan for the people. All right. So, you watch it with a grain of salt. When things get tough in America, it's going to be very obvious. It's not going to be something hidden. I don't see anybody looting. When I went to Walmart and I went to these supermarkets out here, nobody was looting. There was no extra security, nothing. Okay, nothing. All right. So sometimes, you know, a lot of these things are just a lot of stuff on stuff and talk like that. You know, but we still keep the spirit in the fog that at some point in time, okay, these things are going to come to pass and it's going to be really, 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 really bad. Okay. So this is what we have been told. Let's try to go back into some other things here that was going on this week. I mean, as always, you have the same news that's going on like that. So you kind of look into what else can you bring out? You talk about the MOTB, which we know that's taking place across different parts of Europe. Okay, they're going more and more and more into that digital scanning, digital uh, identification. Okay, cashless society. Okay, all those things. All right. So we're right now relaying it to the sheep, those who were here over there, and whatever brother you watch, whether you watch me or you watch somebody else, it doesn't matter. The message is going to come out the same way. I get messages, or I get the warning from other brothers who might have seen a clip or whatever, it's like that. I go to search it. I'm not bringing it up, and I said, I'm not bringing it up, and I come over again. So it doesn't matter which one of us you get up front. At the end of the day, it is all part of the prophecy. Okay, we're all part of the same body, which is doing the work for the Mashiach. The Father and the unicorn at the front. Okay, so this is what we're seeing right now is okay, so off the order people, you have rumors of war taking place. Okay, you have a potential civil war that's going to go on here about America. There are people that really are not digging deep into understanding who they are and why things are happening the way it's going to be happening. Like, for example, the Jake I was talking to, he's one of these sign holders out there. He's holding a sign that's going around saying, buy a mattress or whatever cases like that. And then I was talking to him for a while like that. He has an inclination, about certain things that's going on. But in reality, people are so lost. Like for example, I asked about, hey, do you know that they have a something called Camp Bliss out here, in which it's the largest detention center meant to hold so-called blacks and Native Americans and Latinos, especially Latinos, okay, that they're going to grab off the street or their house. And he didn't know about it. And he's not the first one that I spoke with, that I asked about that here at camp. Okay. A lot of people right out here don't even have a clue of what's taking place here in El Paso. They don't care. All they're concerned about is that they get gas in their car, they're going to drive by, the sun is shining, they get a little bit of food or a taco to go eat, and they're not concerned one damn bit. They don't really believe, okay, that they're going to be a target, okay, for this doggone devil. They really don't believe that. There's a lot of them that really believe that they're a Teflon stick or a Teflon Negro. And if you have the Teflon stick or Teflon Negro mentality, you are in for a rude awakening. In fact, let's go into Book of Proverbs and talk about this. Okay, this can be a this can actually go into a lesson later in this week. Lord willing, it says, let's go to Proverbs 1. Let's go to Proverbs 1, starting in verse 20, starting with verse 20. It says, wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the street. She cried in the chief place of the concourse, in the opening of the gates. In the city, she uttered her words, saying, how long, you simple ones, how long, you blind, know it all, Hebrew Israelites, you so-called blacks, Americans, and Latinos. Okay, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools say knowledge. This is the reason why you have, what's his name, Drusky. And I've watched him, some of his shows. Um, is he funny? When he makes fun of the right, or the people he should make fun of, is the Edomites. Okay, but he's not funny. And he crossed the line when he decided to go after the Hebrew Israelites. And they might have contacted him, you know, and happened to go do that. A lot of people are going to do whatever it takes to make the ball or to please the so-called white man and get those views. And of course, it went viral. Everybody likes it, entertainment, and that's okay. That's okay. We know that we're not the most likable. Like I told the Jacob there, okay, I stand out here on Sundays on the corner. We have other brothers that stand on the corners on the west side of El Paso, and nobody shows up. Nobody is showing up. Given the fact that you have thousands of cars going by, nobody shows up and inquire about who they are, why you here, or anything like that. All they look and they see is your dark skin, you're black, you're a nigga, you stand up on the corner. Maybe you're looking at pounds, or places like that. And so they're not concerned. They feel good about themselves driving in their car. Okay, they got a participation for now. They feel good about themselves. They got family support. They're gonna be going for a little picnic to go eat their little cake taco or whatever cases like that. And they feel good about themselves. So they're not concerned that, of course, things are good. They're being confident about the fact that, they're trying to get a little bit better. Okay, they're not being wrestled to the ground and beaten and put in and terrified and terrorized, okay? Because see, you wouldn't know what it's like to feel, okay, not being able to control yourself or the outcome of your life, okay, which we don't have control of that. If you haven't gone through that level of tribulation, and when it do come down to you, Jake, it's going to be so horrific. It's not going to be just like a mild form of judgment that the Lord bring on you to maybe to correct you. At that point in time, there is not going to be correction. It's just simply going to be a horror. It's just going to be simply judgment. Right now, this is correction. They're just beating you down in your head, punching you up in your head, arresting you. Maybe they may be hard about it. They kick your door down, damage your house, or whatever the case that, or your apartment. They may be hard about it. They may even put you on a plane and even send you even send you back to where you came from. Okay, and that's the mild way. That's the Lord actually letting the rest of us see that this is going to get worse when the death has been sealed. Okay, He is going to start to hurt the wicked children of Israel. Okay, He's going to judge these other tribes. He's going to judge the doggone Edomites very harshly and cruelly. He's going to judge these other tribes that are here that are think that they're untouchable. Okay, because everybody think that they're a Teflon. Okay, The things don't stick to them. Okay, they're proud. Okay, you get these women that drive by in their car, they look at you, squint their doggone ugly ass face. You know, they feel proud about themselves because here they are looking at you. Here you're a Negro. You're the lowest form of life here in America. And you're standing up here, so they're looking down at you. I think you have nothing else better to go on do. Okay? No, I don't have anything else better to do. I love doing this. Okay? I look forward to doing this. Right? I don't have anything else better to do. Okay? When I'm done with camera, I go and look at other part of videos and stuff like that. And then, yes, I do take some time for myself. Like I can, be old righteous. But there's nothing else better for me to do. There isn't. All right? It says, how long? It says, turn ye at my reproof, behold, I will pour my spirit unto you. I will make known my words to you. How the words going to be made known to you? Okay, through the prophets. Okay, so I went through detail, with a lot of my signs that I have printed out. The 12 tribe signs, the MOTB. I show the signs of the, these posters I have. I have a ton of posters up here. Okay, ton of posters. So there's more than enough things here to edify. If you ask a question, I can go into the scripture. You can have an illustration. But again, if you're in that worldly mindset, you're never going to understand. I can't teach you anything in doggone 2 hours or an hour. Okay. So like I told the brother, like I told the Jake, hey, okay, this is something you got to dedicate your life to. It's just like fitness. If you want to be good at anything, you have to dedicate your life to it. What does the scripture say? Study to show thyself approved. You could watch how way you study. Some people study through visual, some people study through hearing, some people study through actual reading, or a combination of all of it. And one is going to dominate the other. Okay, one is going to. I'm a picture guy. I like to see big pictures and stuff like that. I like that. I'm a visual learner. Okay, so I learned probably about 80% visual. Well, let's just say 60% visual and 40% hearing. 30% hearing and 10% reading and stuff like that. So nonetheless, it's how I learn. Because it's always helpful. So you have to learn the way you have to learn, the way you would go. But Jake, they don't want to invest into that. They don't want to understand it. They don't want to go, well, gee, I might have to go watch hundreds of videos before you even get the basic understanding of the milk. The milk. And me and other brothers have talked about it before, writing notes. So you see me here, this is one of like several notebooks that I use, write scriptures from, write these things down. When the time comes, electronic, to go and put in keywords or look at something like that. You can look at the scriptures and go, okay, what was this scripture? Right, notes right there. You can go and take a look at it. And these are going to be things that you're going to need in a time of comfort when your faith is going to be tested and you think that you've been forsaken and maybe everything that you was doing was just like what for nothing, or you know you're going to see yourself in some situation that's going to test your faith, man. That's going to be like, man, did I waste my time for nothing? I could have been dug on digging a hole in the ground to go hide, or the society, or stalking, years of food, or whatever cases like that. Or I could have gone with this group or that group to go hide on the ground, or I could have fled the country years ago, or whatever case like that. Okay, you will not be in that mindset. You have faith and trust in the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah, who has promised great death, but the those troubles. It says, because I called you refuse, meaning that you don't want to listen because you know it. I stretch with my hand. Oh, got it. But you have said about all my counsel and with none of my refuse. So, okay, certain places that we stand or we go and we do church or camp, you might have a lot of Edomites in that area. So they definitely don't want to walk up there. Because especially if they see a sign where you have their Jesus out the horn of the head, or they hear you talk about the so-called white man right away, they know that you're anti evil, which they are evil. So you basically know they don't want to come and engage with you. And most of them don't care because they look at you as simple and they don't see you as threat. They just see you as threat. They see you as just a simple nigga, a simple nigga stand up in the corner. So they don't see you as threatening. They don't see you as threatening, so they ignore you. Our people, on the other hand, like they're embarrassed by us. They hate us. They're embarrassed by us because they feel like we're causing a separation. Okay, we're stupid. We're poor. We're broke. Whatever the case is like that. Silly things that comes in there. They're going to be crying. Okay, for someone to feed their ass or someone to come pull one of these other ICE agents off their ass when they get in the head, they're going to stump in. Or, expect you to turn around and look at them and give them that love that they never showed your ass. Okay? but they're stubborn right now because they're proud. They have the ability to eat, so they don't need to listen. People don't listen when the things are going good for them. They don't. Okay. It says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear coming. Okay. You saw the fear of these doggone people, and we're talking about our people. We don't care about the Edomites and their inability to get government assistance. Okay. But you saw the fear that came from Eve then when uh, they realized that they're not going to get Section 8. That was because they're not going to get, these snap, the free snap benefits, whatever the hell those things are. Okay. The fear. Okay. Uh, you are now going to have a whole not getting those, but you're not going to get healthcare. So all those women, those either like to spread their leg from one town or one part of the continent to the other, and have these STDs. When those STDs and those pestilence start getting into you, okay, you don't have the option to go get penicillin and get injections. That's going to somehow hide that pus between your doggone leg. Okay, so you're going to be suffering with that hunger. Okay, lack of bread, uh, suffering, lack of care. Because one man is going to want you. Okay, no man is going to want you. The Lord already put the spirit in man. God wants you. Also, the fact is you're going to have these crazy men that are going to go again that wants to hurt you. They hate you. Okay, and this is also not only with women. You will have this on a man too, because a lot of the men, the Lord do this with men. So he's going to really hold man. Because as a man, you're supposed to be a watchman. You're supposed to be the strength, backbone. And yes, a lot of our men don't have the backbone. They don't have the strength. They're weak, and they're not. They don't want to be nourished. Okay. Now, technically, that brother. Okay. Now, I told him I was going to go live and really go into the scriptures where I'm going to go into the camp. And at that time, if he asks a question, that will give me a camp because now I can actually go and bring out the answer to the scripture versus you know paraphrasing or speaking in a normal turn. Okay, but it said he left to go spin his little doggone sign. Hey, come in here, come in here, come in here, and that's not gonna profit him. All right, it says when your fair cometh us desolation, destruction coming as a whirlwind. When the stress and anguish come upon you. So when you take the whirlwind, okay, you can think in terms of time. You can think in terms of what happened out there. You can think in terms of like a tornado. A whirlwind is basically going to be very fast. Can't get the hell out of the way. And this is how that judgment is going to do. Right now, you people are being given right now to return to Yahweh Shem Shai. You are now given a grace period, a time period to understand what the Lord requires of you. Don't eat the abominable food. Stop committing adultery. Stop being faggots. Women need to get the hell in order. You men need to be men. You need to stop being pacified. Those sissies. Okay? This is not a joke. Okay, you don't understand. You are the founder. And the Lord has put the spirit in man to come up with a wholest life. We don't hide in our face. We don't talk about our own face. We are telling you, you're a target. Okay, for this doggone guy, so you don't want to listen. Okay, you don't want to hear. Okay, and the reason why you don't want to hear is because life is fit for you. It's fit for you. Right? It says, "Then they shall call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me." And why they're not going to find him? Because you're not going to find us out here to give you the warning. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai isn't going to come down here and preach you. The Mashiach is not down here in this time to preach you. He chose certain men out of the world to come and do this work. I mean, when you think about it like that, brothers, we all humble for the fact that it's like, damn, I'm not worthy. Do you know the kind of shit that I was into? Okay. I know, I mean, yeah, the Lord called me. Nobody wants me. Nobody wants me, right? People don't like to hear me. Okay, they don't. Even in this ministry, you get people who won't get it. That's fine. And that's fine. Okay? And that's fine. I don't care. I've been used to being by myself all my life. Okay, so I expect it and I actually prefer it. Right? But you're not going to find the purpose of the highway Bible. We're not going to deal here with the little supply. Okay? When somebody turn around and put one of these agents in the spirit world, They're gonna go crazy, man. They're gonna shoot anything that comes. In fact, there's a lot of incidents where someone turned the wrong corner that was blocked off. Okay, maybe it was a cul-de-sac or something like that, and the agents assume that somebody's going to get there to ram them, turn around and start firing on the damn vehicles. So you could wind up getting put to death just from making a wrong turn or making a U-turn. And there's a doggone agent car there that believes that agent is sit down in the car and they believe that some way, somehow, their life, okay, is in danger. And next thing you know, you're in the spirit world. This is how it's going to be out here. This is how it's going to be. So we're not going to be out here, okay, in a place where a bunch of psychopaths are riding around, okay, paranoid as hell, putting our people to death indiscriminately. We're not going to be out here for that, okay? We're not going to be out here for that. So you don't have to worry about that. So we're not going to be out here the whole time, okay, getting in your way. And a lot of you Jays think, like, well, y'all just spoiling the fun for us. Nah, man, we're not spoiling the fun for you. We're telling you the fun is about to come. And that fun is going to be the fact that we're going to be laughing at you. Just like how Drewski marked us, the Lord can put his ass to death, okay? And it's going to be public. And it's going to be in a horrific way. And then we're going to laugh, okay? We're going to laugh at Drewski, okay? It says, for they hated knowledge, did not choose the fear of the Lord, the Almighty. They were none of my concept, they despised all my reproof, okay? So the prophets are, okay, come on here diligent and do the work. You come on here to warn you. We warn you about it going to be, we warn you about, okay, the sword that's coming upon the children of Israel. We let you know who the enemy is. We have identified the enemy. We let you know that this man is Caesar Nero Trump. What this man did in his past, okay, incarnation, us, okay, or Caesar Nero, okay, and what is about to take place, okay, and I think Jake's they don't take anything serious because the Lord is doing it in increments. Now, keep in mind that I've made this analogy before. Okay, when the rain came down, it didn't come pouring down right away. It came in drops. At the time when the rain came down, Noah was already in the ark. So henceforth, when you look at it, the raindrop or the rain of terror is already upon us. Okay, and you have the house of David being built. Okay, that's a spiritual house that the men of the Lord and those who are chosen is going to be in. Okay, it's already being built. Okay, it's established. And there's a hedge of protection around those people that are a part of that house. Okay, more like in the day when the ark was built, Noah went into the ark, and then there was a couple of days before that rain started, and it started pitter patter, and the people were like, "Okay, nothing is happening, nothing is happening. This is what's happening right now." People are saying, "Well, nothing is happening. Y'all been talking about this MOTB. Y'all been talking about this and that." Like people really believe the marker to be 666 is actually just some tattoo of 666 on the forehead or your hand. Like, come on, seriously? That's why I said about. Let's go on to let's go to the book of Revelation 13. What's up? Okay, this is the book of Revelation 13. So verse 15 says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So power is already given to this image. Okay. Wow. NATO, Great Babylon, America. And it's been a proven fact. It's been proven fact that if you're a nation, if you don't obey or follow what Great Babylon, America is dictated for, you'll be invaded, you'll be put to death. We see going on right now over there in, I think it's Sudan and Tanzania. Okay, we thought literally thousands of people getting put to death on the streets. I mean, being chopped up, mowed down, shot, like there was nothing. That their lives mean nothing. This is something that we have never seen here out here in the West. Okay, so imagine right now that you have the police or you have the law enforcement. Okay, just go out here and just start killing indiscriminately. I mean, just laying off bodies after bodies all over the place like that. I mean, people will lose their mind. I mean, it would be, but this is what's going to happen. Okay, it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand on their foreheads. Okay, and that woman that I saw said, "We had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name." That here is wisdom. That's him that have understanding of the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. This number is 600, three scores and six. So 666. It is right. We seen Trump turn around and he's building a ballroom out here at the White House that can hold 999 people, which then turn it upside down to 666. So the tongue of falling on themselves, for bringing it out. Well, for most people, they think it's entertaining. When they're watching us, or they're watching the people they call conspiracy theorists, the Christians who might bring out certain things, so you might have these other YouTube celebrities that are bringing out. I don't know what's going on down there. It looked like there's nothing getting answer. But anyways, bringing out certain things. You have people just really watching for entertainment purposes. Really, that's what they're watching for. So even if you bring this out without the scriptures, and because a lot of people don't want to hear you talk with the Bible. Okay, one of the reasons why our videos get such low view is the fact is that we're bringing it from the Bible, and what that does, it does lay. When you hear the scriptures and it's coming from the scriptures, people who have the natural fear of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, when it's coming from the scriptures and it's coming, and it's brought out in its ferocity. So it really hits heavy because those demons that are in our people, they reject it. They reject the truth. They don't want to hear it. And Pittsburgh get riled up because they're hearing something that requires a major change. It requires a change. It requires integrity. It requires for you to step away from what you was doing before. Okay? It requires a different way or a different path that you're going to walk in life. Different from if you just listen to something for entertainment. So this is the reason why they prefer to watch those podcasts that might say this and that or whatever, this like that. Let's say if a podcast turns around, they just say exactly what we preach, but they don't use any scriptures. All they say, oh, the book of Revelation says, no, this or that. We believe, it's going to be this RFID microchip. Everybody's going to listen. If you've seen that before, this guy doesn't preach. He doesn't go on the highway in the Bible. But he says that, and he gets 1 million views in only 2 days. But we say it and combine together with the entire ministry, you might get 100,000 views. So that tells you that people like to be entertained. Their whole thing is that if you're not popular, if you're not saying it in such a sweet way that I think I adjust it, and I don't want to hear it. And this is the problem right here. These people are not humble to eat the whole bowl. Okay, which is going to be sweet and bitter, sweet and bitter. I had a hard time even today, and I wasn't trying to convince him, but this brother couldn't understand who he was, man. And you would think that if somebody who's been oppressed and repressed and working a shit job, broke us out on, not really on the top of the world. Okay, here that they're Yasharala, they're special, they're the true children of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. They're special. The reason why they're poor and they're broke or they're down and out is because we're under the curses of Deuteronomy 28. You would think that they would be excited, but they're not even excited, man. Our people don't even show no excitement, man. That amazes me. When I first heard, I was encouraged by it. I first heard. The reason why I'm having problems, why I had problems all those decades was because how I felt hurt. Now I understood. It's not me. I made all the effort I could. I did everything I could. I did everything by the books. I did all the things that he saw them was there. This is what you do. Go get college education. Blah 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 blah. Or why I couldn't become a billionaire. Why I couldn't become a billionaire. Okay. I did everything. Okay. I bought all the books, studied the rules, them like crazy, and like why? So I didn't understand. I was under a curse. It didn't make any difference. Okay, once I heard it, I go, okay, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. I kind of knew I was always say I was under the curse. Okay, it made sense. Then I heard you were supposed to be born in slavery, and I go, yeah, that makes sense. Not sold into slavery by picking. Then I heard I was a chosen people of the Lord. Yahweh Shah. Okay. And of course, I learned. I think I came into when I came into the first heard I was Hebrew, so that I learned from IUIC, so the basic. And then when I started learning the scriptures, I actually learned it from GMS. I didn't. IUIC don't teach you scriptures. They're more of a pony show and bullshit. And I'm not into wasting my time. So I didn't stick around watching them for long. I said I just stopped watching. I just stopped watching stuff altogether until I one day I came across one of the camps in Great Millstone, and that's when I here I am. Okay, let's just put it that way. So I was excited. I was excited to know I was somebody. I was excited to know that I just wasn't just some 5'7" Negro, who's been mocked and laughed at so many times I lost count. I wasn't this guy that wasn't popular, uh, ostracized by your family, hated by your family for whatever reason, uh, and left on your own to go struggle when I was an early teenager. No, I realized I had to go through all that. You know, it made sense. It made sense. So I wanted to know, and I was excited. I was of somebody. So even if the world don't believe who we are, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. So that's the reason why we can stand up on the corner, despite the fact that people drive by and they feel like they're better than you. You serve no purpose in their life. They look at you like, okay, why are you out here every single time? You venting. Why wouldn't you vent? Okay. Okay. Let's take a look at it right here. If you talk about venting, you're saying that we're venting. Now I'm venting. Well, okay. Let's talk about that. Let's see probably why am I venting. Okay. See why I'm probably venting. Okay. They're talking about gift destroyed the heart. Let's just bring out that scripture. All right, let's talk about this. Okay. And why we are out, why we the it says why we out here. Okay. Slack here. You actually can go into Proverbs. It says a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel. So bottom line is if you're wise, you're going to want to move on. I want to move on. I watch the lessons that people might find boring. Okay. Doc I don't know about history. He knows about this. He's been blessed with the spirit to bring out that lesson. And I want to know that. So I'm going to watch that lesson. And I don't watch 5 minutes of it or 10 minutes of it. I'm going to watch the entire thing. Obviously, some of us, we've been very basic lessons and stuff like that. Obviously, brothers who are teaching themselves would not have not invest time to watch, a lesson that they consider entry level or elementary to them or whatever case like that. Okay, and we all have different levels of the ability to teach or whatever the case like that, or whatever the Lord is going to put you in. Okay, to bring out a diverse form of teaching out there to his sheep. Okay, Some brothers make movies, some do, other things. Some brothers like to go live every doggone day or go live in every lesson. They like the camera. They're comfortable looking into the camera and interacting, okay, with the people on the live lesson. Others simply don't like to do it. Okay. So we all have different personalities and a different way how we're bringing it out because the Lord gave us, have us doing it that way. Okay. But, okay, let's go into, where is, I think I lost a place. Yeah. So we try to learn, okay, um, so that we can know how to edify, okay, the sheep. And next lesson, sometimes you get inspiration from that. You said earlier about being angry. It says, this is Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, surely oppression maketh a wise man not, and a gift destroying the heart. So again, I read to you about before that, it's about if you are wise, you want to move on. You learn more. The more you learn, the more you realize who the devil is. The more you learn, the more you realize why you're in the judgment or in the position that you're in, facing the tribulation, the consequences of being looked at. So you want to know more. But you start to learn, okay, so this man is not really a friend. This man doesn't even care about you. America is not being built for what's it meant. Okay, for us to pride. This is not our place of rest. Okay. The same people that might turn around and give you welfare or help you or even give you a job are the same people that will hang you from a doggone tree tomorrow. Okay. That will put a bullet in your head. That will throw you incarceration in their system, in their penal system. Okay. Without due process. Okay, and we have these things that are taking place. So as you learn that, you realize, okay, now I know who the devil is. Okay, and everything that he's done for me really wasn't done because he liked me. It was because the doggone devil fucking doggone is a piece of shit. Okay, you're being led in snares. So you understand that. Okay, it says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroy the heart. Okay, so no matter what has been done for us here in Great Bible in America, at the end of the day, you look at it and go, you've been bamboozling me. I still don't want your society or your kingdom to prosper. We pray to Yahweh Shai to bring you down. He puts you in slavery to destroy you. We look forward for the Mashiach to return to destroy you. Okay? We look forward. I saw in Jeremiah 16:16. Us fishes hunting, okay, casting out the net, which is a scripture, or at least these are epistles out there and drawing to whoever is going to be drawn to it, whoever the Lord chooses to bring in to draw into it. You can't be, we're fishermen. We're fishing for the souls of men. We're warning our people that drive around the metal conquer. This this life of doggone bird that you're in is not going to be forever. At some point, people are going to fall to this side. You're going to be hurting. And then we're going to be turning into hunters. So go on, hunt. These people are oppressed. Okay? We're going to go hunt you. Oh, you think the Mashiach is coming back to the kind of canyons and sugar cane food? No, he's coming back to the sport of people. You just don't get it. You don't get it. You just don't get it. You don't understand that the Lord is going to destroy you. Okay? It's only this Lord like really pussy. Okay? All right. They're probably going like, oh, and you get camera, you get people snapping photos of you all the time. Oh, you know. Like people ask you sometimes, like when you're doing this, when they do come up and talk to you, what religion are you in? We're not a religion. We're not an occult. We're not a religion. Okay? What we are as a tribe, we're the 12 tribes of Israel. What we're telling you is you have a script, scriptures are written about two tribes. And that two tribes are the only two tribes that matter, Esau and Jacob. Right now, Esau is in bullshit. It's all nice and powerful and wicked. And then Jacob's got next. So right now, right, someone's got to do something. Someone's got to do it. So at some point in time, Esau's going to go at the bottom. I mean, way bottom. Okay? And then we're going to be the one that's going to click hardship again. In fact, let's take a look at that. Let's talk about the rich man and poor man. I like to bring this one out because I really like the idea of Esau in such terror that he's begging the Lord Yahweh Shai to let us show mercy on him. Because he's keep in mind, what did Yahweh Shai say? Jacob divided out. But Esau I hated. Okay, let's bring that up before I go into that. This is the book of this is the book of uh, Romans, Romans 9, and because they do gonna say, okay, well, it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Yahweh Shai hated. He said, well, okay, it says, this is Romans 9, verse 11. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done anything, any good or evil, that the purpose of power, according to the election, might stand, not of works, but of him that called it. Okay, so yeah, we didn't do anything bad, and Esau didn't do anything bad, according to this, right? But it says, it was said unto her, the elder, Esau, shall serve the younger, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with power? Power forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Okay? So, okay. So then it is not of him that will it, nor of him that run it, but of power of God that showeth mercy. There it is right there. Not only are we not going to pray for our people who are not listening to the words that's coming from God and about shooting shy in the time when they had time to turn to him, okay, instead of just driving around ignoring. And if you don't have time to stop, you could still inquire what pick. You know that the young man over here, he didn't even ask, or he didn't even ask, he didn't even get the YouTube page, even what the YouTube page does. If you go to the YouTube page, you subscribe to my YouTube page, then you'll be able to subscribe to other brothers. Once you subscribe to one of our page, that usually the way the AI works on YouTube, it will help you bring with other pages. Or you leave a message or whatever the case like that, will come back over here. Maybe the Lord might have to come back over here. And then he might get more learning. So it's a process, you know. But I think he should have gotten at least the YouTube page for right now, the YouTube handle to go to right now and start listening to some of the lessons, not only from me, but from the other brothers, to which I would have like, hey, go watch some of the elders, them go watch some of the other brothers, subscribe to them and build your subscription so that you could constantly be edified. Okay. Through multiple brothers, because we all have different ways of how we teach. Certain lessons are going to be a little bit more advanced compared to other lessons. Okay. Certain brothers are going to teach a lot more advanced, you know, but we understand I understand every aspect. Doesn't matter who teacher, the other apostle teacher, I understand all of it. Okay, I understand the other brother teacher. All right. So right here it says that Yahweh Shemashai hates Esau, he loves Jacob, and yesterday he put us through the slavery and how you know put us through the things that we need to go through to learn a lesson, teach us a doggone lesson. So everything is a lesson, okay, by the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. Okay, but we'll get some means of finding out people, you know, actually it says very okay, it says it right here. When you go into it talks about the finding out people saw that you. Okay, sort of. Okay, which is another sense. Okay, they really they unlearn. They don't want to learn. They said this Jeremiah 4:22 reads, "For my people see if there's anything about that." It says, "How long shall I see the standard and hear the sound trumpet? For my people is foolish; they have not known their sordid children. They have non-understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good, they have no knowledge. Okay? They have no knowledge. Okay, so they don't want to learn. Okay, what they say, ignorance is bliss, and I think our people really prefer being in the bliss of ignorance. Okay, I don't like it. I don't like to be in the bliss of ignorance. I remember when I was ignorant. Yeah, I do. And the thing about that is when you're ignorant, when you're foolish, and you're sottish, is your reaction is very different because you don't understand why certain things are real. So this is the reason why I have people constantly seeking for the help or for relief for the people that are enjoying themselves, watching you launch, watching people making this, watching you feeling that little jump of joy when you get a little bit of funds, watching you jump for joy when you talk about your house and your possessions you have. There's people looking at what their ass is. Okay, you think you're drinking nice wine, but these people literally lose. Okay, they even pour on the ground in their doggone toilet. Okay, because you're not drinking that. The $20 bottle of wine you're buying in the store, or what you buy in a restaurant, trust me, that's not even wine. That's basically the you might as well call it food. You might as well call it food. Okay? Real wine comes in glass, wooden glass. We don't drink real wine. That's garbage. That's why I never pay that $10 for a barrel of ever. Ever. Because it's not wine. It's not wine. It's just artificially flavored water. That's all it is. With that, okay. So let's keep going here. Uh, should be coming. I'm gonna be closing this up a little earlier because I'd already. But did a lot of camp off camera, so it's gonna be a very long camp. But let's go. We was talking about the rich man and the poor man, right? Yeah. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Talk on Edomite. How weak it is. Okay, so let's go into this because I do love this. This is one of my favorite. This parable is one of my favorite parables. This is 16. Let's start with 19. Said there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and feared sumptuously every day. There was a certain beggar named Lazarus which stayed at his gate for the floor. So which man represents so the so-called white man, the white race. Okay. In particular, we're talking about the Trinidadians. Okay, the people who are the short callers. So do every day, doggone, low level, like really absolutely nothing. We're not talking to them. So when you drive by in your vehicle and you jeer or stare or whatever piece of that, notice that you're actually not considered anything. You're just most of you are going to be in a worse state than the other one who they're jigs, right? So you're not considered anything. We're not looking at you as anything more than the other one fuel with a fire. Okay, a target for the fury of this devil when he comes down on the whole entire earth. Yes, he will. Because he's going to be doing the works of the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai. Yeah, I said it. Esau works for Yahweh Shemel Shai, who the word when he called Lord and Jesus. And it says, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sore. What did the dogs do? They came and they licked his sore. Okay, speaking of these other tribes and how they do it. So these other nations are known as dogs. Okay, dog tribes. Okay, the language they speak is dog language. They're dogs. Okay, and when you think about a dog has no loyalty in reality. Seriously, you could have a dog and you can feed your dog and train your dog, whatever the case is like that. And somebody will walk up with a piece of meat, and if your dog hungry, or your dog just wants to eat it and he smells good, he would just eat it and he would lick that person's finger and become their best friend. Okay, very few dogs, if any, would not do it. But dogs are stupid. Okay, dogs are most of our tend to be very happy about animals. They're very naive. So these other nations, they're naive. The reason why they look at the so-called white man as God, and they like it, they try to like their skin, try to protect them close right now. He's able, okay, to leave those crumbs so they can pick it up. He's able, okay, to make their life a little better. He's able give them certain things. Okay, what falls to his table. And that's why they like him. They don't like us because we can't do that. Because why? We are those people that desire to be fed with the crumbs. We desire. We said from this man's table, more with the dogs came and lifted up. So before we could even get our hands on the crumbs, the dog came and lifted up. God got it. They got it. Okay. And so as it's to be the soul can be that spirit that we are in. So when we look at it, we're in that spirit of Chinese, Africans, all these other tribes, Congo and Great Bible in America. Right. How do they do? How they can come and get the loan? How do they get that business set up? If we don't have nothing. Nothing. And it said that it came to pass the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. Okay, so at some point in time, the end of this kingdom is going to come to naught. Okay, and we're seeing it right now. It's going to come to naught. Esau right now is in its deathbed. This place is in its deathbed. Esau right now, we have one more last hoorah, and that is going to be the MOTB. And we know that that's not going to even work out because, you know, the book of Job goes into the fact that when he's about to fill his belly, the Lord is going to bring that terror on him. And it's going to be horrible. Okay. And everything is going to fall apart. And then you have World War III. And all these countries going to say, we thought this would make the one world government. We thought this would make things better. And it's going to fall apart. And we don't know how long the implementation of the mark of the beast is going to be. We don't know if that's a 2, 3, 4 year period or a 10-year period. We don't know. We don't know. We pray to Yahweh Shemashah that he makes it very quick. Okay. Because a lot of us are aging. Go to the Lord can slow your age down. You may very well look at Apostle Gaban Ramla and them, you know, and go, damn, they haven't aged in the last 30 years. What's up with that? They stop aging. The Lord can do that to us. Okay. And it says, and it came to pass that beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom, which many years of life was buried. And then Heli lifted up his eyes and told him to see Abraham far off, and Lazarus was in his bosom. So we can have a translation. Basically, it's going to be a transfer. We're going to certainly now be experiencing the good life. So it's going to experience the horrible life. And he says right here, he says, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, said Lazarus, that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this fire. So now, after all those horrible things that he's done to us, this man still wants you to be his doggone slave. Can you do that? That's the audacity of this motherfucker, man. After all the shit he's done to us, he still now wants you. You were the beggars. The dogs got the benefit of the doggone crumbs and falls from his table. Okay? Speaking of these other tribes that have benefited from the so-called white man, well, it's smaller. What is Esau paying us for all we have done? We've came this shit. We've built his nation on the back of us. Okay, on the slavery. We entertain him. We do everything. We invented everything to make his life easy. What's the payback? They're rounding Jakes up and doggone different countries, different cities. Okay, show him the damn cage like you're a damn dog. That's the payback. That is the doggone payback that we're getting. Is they put you in the doggone cage, throw you in the damn fence, and put you in the doggone cage like a doggone dog. Okay, beat you down on the streets. That's the payback, Jake. After all you've done, this wicked ass doggone nation, your payback is you're going to be put in a cage like a damn dog. And you're not angry. You're not angry. You didn't even get it. You didn't even get the crumbs. Okay? This man, this motherfucker, what the nerve to want us to go on. And fucking cuddling in the king. Okay, and he says, but Abraham said, son, remember, for thou at that right time, you and rulership receive thy good things, likewise thousands evil things. But now he's comforted, and thou art tormented. The hell was that? Okay, so things are flying across the road here. The hell was that shit? You need to secure your fucking crap, okay? So there it is right there. At some point in time, during the translation, when we go into the kingdom and Esau is begging for mercy, he's going to be reminded by the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. See, it's not going to be a Jake that's going to make that decision. It's not going to be one or two-thirds making that decision. And that's why the Lord is going to have the two-thirds. While you will be a Hebrew Israelite, while you will enjoy the benefit of being, a Hebrew Israelite, you will walk around in shame the fact that you hung the Mashiach, okay? You killed him and murdered the king. Because he didn't come in all great power. You did it. You decided at the end. And in this time, right now, he's sending servants, prophets, to edify you, teach you. And yet still, turn around and you don't listen. But you turn around and you give and you turn around, you don't listen at this time. So what can he say? All right? So Lord willing, the left was edified, let's turn to east, give all going on to Yahweh, God Shin, and Shai, God Shin. Shalom to you. Willing to edify today. Okay, so this is what we got. All right?